Hey guys, thank you for joining us on today. As above, so below. This is my sister's birthday. She is a Gemini, and I want to as above, so below. This is my sister's birthday. She is a Gemini, and I want to say happy visions by which we can harness, direct, and disperse energy, frequency, and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, first of all, salutation to my madrino, to my Oba, and to all of my brothers and sisters in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. To each and every one of you guys that have been ancestors in Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. To each and every one of you guys that have been that believe in the works that we do on my my YouTube channel. I want to talk about something today for melanated people. Um, and I want to break this down in a way that you can understand how to manifest, how to grow, how to develop when it comes to magic. And one of the things that people, especially if they came up in the church, opinion after pastoring since 2001, I've been doing magic ever since I've been 3 to 4 years old. I'm 52 years of age. Most people that grow up in the church, especially the black church, whether they want to accept this or not, they're small-minded people. They're taught to be small-minded. So below, we're talking about mercurial energy, but normally on this day, it's our Bible study. My subject is despise not small beginnings. And why do I say that? When you're saying also that people are small-minded. If you knew how growth took place, if you knew how healing took place, you got to start somewhere. People that don't want to start small, people don't want to start with one client in their business or one job, and then you don't have a big job. One of the things that I love about my process with United Parcel Service, UPS, is this. Everybody starts at the bottom. Everybody starts with that small position. The things that we couldn't do, some people bypass it, but most majority of people went through this process, and you had to work in the box for a year. You could not apply for any position for a year. You could not apply for any position for a full year. And what that did, it weeded out. And I look at magic. I look at why God starts you out in a small beginning. David did not start as a king. David was not favored among his brothers. He wasn't even favored among Samuel the prophet, among his brothers. He wasn't even favored among Samuel the prophet. Small beginnings build character. It means that you understand the ground floor. A lot of people want to practice magic, Ifa, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo. And the reason I say this, sir and ma'am, if you give me an opportunity to show you the power of despising not. David did not think he had an insignificant job. His job was to care for the sheep of his father. I want to talk to somebody today. The same concept is true when you be faithful over another man's. God will make you ruler over many. And David, even though the man's, God will make you ruler over many. And David, even though he did not know his destiny, a lot of y'all feel like if I learn certain things and know my destiny, and he still was faithful. Come on here, somebody. He still was loyal to his father's sheep. And as David took care of his father's sheep, there were obstacles. There were things that came up, like the lion, like the bear. And he delivered those sheep back into the hands of his father. His father did not suffer loss because of David guarding his sheep. The thing that I want you guys to understand, that in small beginnings, you find out the grit that you're made of. You find out what God is really placing in you. You found out David knew before he ever battled Goliath. He knew that he knew he had courage. He knew he was willing to put his life on the line. You get certain titles, when you get certain anointings, when you get certain ache. That's not true. Perfection is true. Perfection of your gift, your talent, and your abilities start in the small beginnings. It starts in the corner of the. You don't have a Cinderella experience. You don't have the wicked stepmother. You don't. You don't have the three sisters. Everybody took her father's wealth and began to. When her father died, her grace died. But she had something on the inside of her. Again, you have a problem with the small role you play. Again, you have a problem with the small role you play in people's life because you don't understand how significant those goals or the roles are in life, because you don't understand how significant those goals or the roles are until something happens. And I'm 52. I took for granted being able to lift up. A lot of times, if you ain't the heart, if you ain't the lungs, if you ain't the kidneys, if you ain't the spleen, if you ain't the brain, you don't think that you play a role significant, relevant in this thing called our collective, our melanated people. Every piece of the body is all connected. And the idea that you don't feel relevant or significant is your ignorance. I thought it was irrelevant. I thought it was small, and I thought it was insignificant. My grandmother being a Sagittarius, she was. Seeing the ignorance that was in her grandchild. And she said, MF, penny make dollars. I ain't never forgot that. Irrelevant and how me the victory that I have as an adult. Because I never forgot that. She made sure I didn't forget. That you're learning your are going to keep you in your high places. But because you don't see the significance and why it is relevant, and that it plays a role in the whole body, in the whole scheme of things come into pass. It is important, my brothers and my sisters, that melanated people, especially my sisters, that melanated people, especially those that come from the church, that you stop looking over the small things, despising the small, only looking if I had more, I would be more important. I'm gonna say it again. I grew spiritually, not because I was born gifted. I didn't have a problem with my job. I didn't have to be the first grandson. I knew I was relevant. I had to be the favorite in my family. I knew. You feel that your position is insignificant. You ain't ready when it's needed. You don't think your nose until it's gone. And then you see the role it was playing in your life. And you were taking care of other things that you thought was important. Speak up because you think your voice is small. You think your gift is insignificant. Your gift is insignificant because it's not like Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I don't have the testimony because it's not like Chief Apostle Samuel Jr. I don't have the testimony. Like I said, if you're a part of the body, blood got to flow in every organ of the promised land. I want y'all to go with me, if you will. Imagine you coming out of Egypt, which is style land of bondage, going through the wilderness, seeing people die off, and finally reaching the promise of the prophecy that God had promised you through Moses. And because the giants were in the land of Canaan as giants, imagine and think about how many opportunities that you will never partake in because of your perception. You think it's so insignificant. I tell all of my members and people that follow me, if you want to work with me, go watch the Karate Kid. Everything that Miyagi was teaching Daniel, he thought it was insignificant. All I need you to do on today is be honest with yourself. The reason why you're playing in this thing called life, if you knew the role you're playing in your ministry, if you knew the role you're playing in your elay, you would be more passionate in your ministry. If you knew the role you're playing in your elay, you would be more passionate. But because your perception about what you're doing and what you're contributing is about what you're doing and what you're contributing is that you see yourself as a grasshopper. You forgetting that when one goes into the promised land, we all go into the promised land. When one defeat that giant, we all defeat that giant. This is why we're ineffective like we are, playing their role. Even though we hear people constantly say, stay in your lane, because you think your lane ain't relevant. Somebody else's lane is relevant. Somebody else's lane is more important. You don't want to. The players running and getting the balls, they understand their role. And one day as they keep playing, they actually are in the company of greatness because of their role. How many that you play? Look at what Robin had the opportunity to enjoy because he was playing the role of the sidekick. Come on here, somebody. I'm trying to help you on today. You can't. Come on here, somebody. I'm trying to help you on today. You can't ever become the Batman in your own world because you so busy up to somebody. Mariah Carey was backup singer before she got her break. to become a headliner. Whitney Houston was singing background for her mother and a lot of the singers. If you study Patti LaBelle, keep being ignorant about despising small beginnings, and you're going to find your blessings are hidden behind small things. I'm going to say it again. Sometimes your breakthrough is hidden behind small things. The man of God dilemma was he needed to be fed. He was hungry. The widow woman, in some situation. When I started out on my healing journey, I did not start out with a good report. I was anemic, and my body, my red blood cells were destroying my other red blood cell. That's how I got on prednisone. Come on here, somebody. And I took that 0.3. That itty bitty number of my hemoglobin. And number of my hemoglobin. And I told my son, I said, I need to get out of here. The more I was learning, I had went to Orlando, Florida Regional Hospital because I thought I was getting closer to the blood that I needed for my blood transfusion. And I had got down to 4.3. They deliberately did me like that. And let me tell y'all something. I want to encourage you today. I told my son, I said, my blood hemoglobin is at 4.3. And whatever blood I got left in my body, I'm going to keep it. Do y'all hear me? They gave me, I had so many people in the church world. You'll never know who going to speak up for you. Some of y'all think your voices don't matter. They wasn't listening to the chief apostle Samuel Jr. But when people start calling that hospital, telling them about what they're going to do, they were even lying to some of my members and telling them I wasn't even a patient at that hospital. One of my members, my Aries, told him, you telling a lie. I just got through talking to him. And she called out the room number. When somebody's trying to hinder you from your breakthrough, they got to do their job. But what the people that were fighting for me did not give up because they were lied to. How many blessings, how many victories you done gave up because somebody lied to you? You didn't push past the lie. You ain't verify whether it was true or not. You just took it at face value. That's why these things are so significant. This is why I constantly tell people the things that I tell them as a melanated man to the melanated man or woman that they are. Why you got to be constantly encouraged? David said, if I was a doorkeeper, long as I make it in, you worried about being a king or queen, you worried about being a duke, you worried about all, and guess what? Ain't nothing wrong with wanting that stuff. But don't let it hinder you from playing your role. David said, I don't have to be a king. I can be a doorkeeper in God's house. David said, I don't have to be a king. I can be a doorkeeper in God's house. The prodigal son, know what he said? In my father's house, even the servants eat better than this. When you don't respect your role, when you despise your role and you think it's insignificant, it ain't relevant, you will sit there. The Bible said he was about to eat the husk from the swine, but he came to himself. If I don't do nothing else on today, if I can get you to come to your true self, your real self, your authentic self, as an air sign, as an earth sign, as a fire sign, as a water sign, and come to yourself and realize there's more water sign, and come to yourself and realize there's more hills. There are cattle on 1,000 hills. If it ain't today, blessed be, it'll be tomorrow. Sometimes you got to learn how to get over that look and look to the hills from which cometh your help. You got to believe God that that little pimple of a situation, that you're not going to make it out of a mountain because of how you perceive what you're going through. A lot of people can get through their trials a lot better if they stop making mountains out of molehills. I believe that all things are possible. So my percentages are different. I believe that God cannot fail. I believe that God cannot lie. I believe that the divine has given us everything we need on the inside of us because we're the microcosm of the universe. I also believe that he gave us universal laws that allow us to navigate anything called life. Anything called life. But when you as an individual, no matter how much your role is acknowledged, you're going to undermine it because you don't see the why it's relevant for you to play your role. I had a situation happen yesterday. And I'm saying this because a lot of y'all pull this stunt. You don't think your role is important until you get caught not standing your post. I'm going to say it again. You don't think guarding that east wing means nothing. You've been there 6 months, ain't nothing happening. You call it boring. The day you decide to slack off is the day that the enemy come through the east gate. And they already in the palace because you ain't aware your side of the wall been breached. Energy follow path of least resistance. That's not my opinion. Energy follow path of least resistance. That's not my opinion. Those are universal laws. I'm going to say that again. Energy follow path of least resistance. That means you're not paying attention for that energy to get in. Let me explain it like this. If God did not want you to have that role, you would never had it. He said, Paul said like this. One plant, that's your role. One, what? Water. That's your role. The role of the divine is to give the increase. Because Monique is the planner. I can't take it. All I do is water. You think your role is so insignificant until we both are without increase. Because if Monique play her role and I don't play my role, we both don't get an increase. You are attached, Ebasha. You are attached to somebody's blessing. You are attached to somebody's healing. You are attached to somebody's outcome. Because you don't think it's no big deal. You don't think it's significant because you don't carry a big name. It's all about perception. Korah would never challenge Moses if he understood the responsibility that Moses was doing. Korah didn't even live long enough to see. I know if I mess up some of y'all Christians. Korah didn't even live long enough to see that Moses was never going to enter into the promised land. He was so busy trying to take over Moses' position that he didn't know a few days later Moses would not enter into the promised land. You can be envious and jealous of somebody's position, and you don't know what they're going to end up. When Korah was challenging Moses, Korah did not know that Moses was not going to enter into the promised land. I know your mind don't think like that, but that's why we got revelation. Apostles are revelatory beings. I want you to open up your mind on today and ask yourself, how many spots that I did not hit because I didn't think my position was relevant? I didn't think it was significant. This is what get me with a lot of y'all. I didn't think it was significant. This is what get me with a lot of y'all. Instead of you listening at what God say, you listen at other people tell you how finite what you got. When you don't know what something is going to grow into, and you're not a discerner and God ain't gave you the insight to that person's life, how you going to say what that person ain't going to be? Mary Magdalene was walking around there say what that person ain't going to be. Mary Magdalene was walking around there a prostitute. Who would have thought she would have went down in history as Jesus, Yahshua's wife? The one he cast out 7 devils out of. Who are you to talk about can anything good come out of Nazareth? Yahshua came out of Nazareth. The one that had the measure. These is what's significant. This is what causes you to grow. When you play your part. You didn't know that hair in your nose was there to protect your sinuses. But every time you turn around, you tweezing it out. You didn't know the wax in your ear and the hair in your ear wax is antibacterial. It keeps infection out your ear. The hair in your ear keeps that out of your eardrums. Every little thing you can see and every little thing you can't see out of your eardrums. Every little thing you can see and every little thing you can't see is a reason why it's there. You know why you got butt hair? Do you realize that we got hair on our body, period? And you constantly shaving it off and keep talking about you got skin problems. The reason your discernment is off because your hair is antennas. Talk to me, y'all. The hairs are antennas. It picks up on energy. When we say we got goosebumps on our arms, it's really the hair that done picked up the energy. But if you want to shade all your hair off, that's why you don't feel nothing. There's an opening at the in the sole of your feet where energy come in and go out. In your crown of your head, we call it a mole. You don't protect either one. That's why you're constantly getting work done on you and you're falling into traps because you don't guard and protect the most vulnerable part of you. I'm gonna say that again. You don't think it's time appropriate to protect the most vulnerable part of you. And when the laws of the universe says energy what flows at least resistance, those are the areas where you have least resistance. And that's where melanin. You think God let hair grow around your mouth for nothing? And now you don't, now you still don't understand why you can control your tongue. Everything is there for a reason. And you spending what? Little to no time. And you despise. That's what I want to get that word. You despise. You think very lowly of small beginnings. Your third eye. Because you think it's going to change so much in your life. When your third eye is a part of your brain. And you constantly doing things to destroy it. Our brain is made of signals. Electrical signals. And there's a small army called parasites waging war against your temple. And you think it's everybody else. And we open these doors through various of habits. And we find ourselves in a situation that Cat Williams said, pimp down. My knowledge that I'm sharing today is not about numbers. I appreciate it. It's about, I'm tired of saying stuff to people that don't value what I'm saying. You so busy thinking I'm putting you down. And you don't understand the revelation of being put in your place. See, Monique, when you get put in your place, you can play ball. When you get put in your place, you got playing time. But when you're in your place, you always absent. The opportunities you're looking for, you can't get them because you in somebody else's lane. You in somebody else's time. The opportunities are knocking at your door, you ain't even home. You're not home mentally. You're not home emotionally. Huh? You ain't even home. You're not home mentally. You're not home emotionally. Huh? You ain't even home sexually. You ain't home economically. Every financial opportunity to come. What we complain about is really because you saw that voucher as some insignificant because it wasn't money, but you were being tested. Because if you can put that voucher to work, you'll put them resources to work. I know I ain't the only one heard. They said make a dollar out of 15 cents. So that means you don't need a dollar. You want the dollar because you wanted it easy. But you can get 85 cents if you start out with 15 cents. And we have all these little stories that we done been told all these years trying to show us how to make it, how to pull through, how to not overlook the small things. And we keep what? Doing. How to pull through, how to not overlook the small things. And we keep what? Doing. And we think somebody blocking our blessing. That woman could have easily denied the man of God, ate that cake, and her son died. Ended too soon because you said no. Ended too soon because you said no. Not me, not now. And because she said yes, she didn't know it was a whole nother chapter waiting for her and her son. How many of y'all done cut off people opportunity in y'all bloodline because you keep saying no? You're not hurting them, hurting me. You're not hurting the Tata, the Momo, Huan, the pastor, the apostle. You ain't hurting none of it. I want you to think about why I can make such a point on today and why this hitting you so hard. Because you can see in your own life hard. Because you can see in your own life how you have played your own hands wrong, all because how you perceived it. Hand. That moment you admitted you're not a real poker player. Because a card player can turn a bad hand. And I never forget my supervisor. He was a nasty Pisces. But you know what he told us? We used to complain about our load and how it was loading. He said every good driver can overturn a bad load. Y'all get through, even though you sitting here complaining and you telling the truth. But you manage to get everything done. Because if you doing your skill, I know it's more convenient when they put it in the right place. I know it's convenient when they don't put when if they put everything in the same spot. It's an inconvenience that all four of them should be up front, but three of them up front and one in the back. Because if you do the methods that we have taught you, you're going to get through that truck. I don't care how overwhelming it has been on that truck in the beginning in the morning, because you ain't got the chance to implement your methods. You ain't got nothing off the load. That's what we say, brick by brick, step by step. And he said every good driver can overcome a bad load. In other words, he don't want to hear. You know what they say? You are a paid professional. That means this is your skill. The aggravation comes along with the territory. Y'all ain't trying to hit me, huh? You've been praying a long time. Why aren't you skilled? You've been doing affirmation a long time. Why aren't you skilled? Don't worry about what my gift do for me. But you will be able to overcome some of the same hurdles. Do you know that the turtle still get what he got to get? The mole cricket still get what the worm. The hummingbird. It might not fly like high like the eagle, but it get food every single day, flying as low as it fly. They ain't sitting there talking about how I got feathers and I can't fly that high. Everywhere you are in life, there's provision right there. You go hungry because you can't get the fruit on the top of the tree. You gonna bypass? That's beneath me.
I don't want that.
The same nutrients in that fruit at the top of that tree is the same at the bottom of that tree. You the one making it different.
Yeah.
They did a test on Oprah, and they went out in the community, and they had a glass bottle of orange juice, and they had a plastic bottle of orange juice. It was the same orange juice. Everybody said that the one in the glass tastes better. And it was the same identical. That's how powerful your perception is. You wouldn't even know if you got the same anointing. You wouldn't know if you got the same arche. You wouldn't even know it because it's packaged different. Some of y'all buying the same books over and over. It's just different cover. That's why you ain't learning nothing. Because you can't discern. This is why the Chinese is clowning Americans. Really? Because clowning Americans. Really? Because you done paid $5,000 for a Louis Vuitton, and we make both we manufacture the high end and the low end. Because if it really was about quality, you would have recognized it. But it's about labels. It's about how you perceive it. And now all of a sudden, the people that have spent all these thousands of dollars, now you feeling some type of way.
Yeah. They real bad. They big bad.
You've been calling everybody else bag fake. But y'all come from the same manufacturer.
Yeah.
Huh? How you gonna call a brother or sister no good when we come from the same manufacturer? All of us made in the image and the likeness of God. Male or female. There are no male or female in the spirit. But you call somebody gay, bisexual. I mean, labels. Because if it's about energy, as long as that energy manifests, you wouldn't care what tabernacle, vessel it was. Do you understand? Am I good? Not good at what I do?
You are good. You hit the spot every time.
That's why I always get a call back. Not after. I very seldom get a call back the next day. There's some. Not after. I very seldom get a call back the next day. There's some healing in order.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I say this because I say it all the time. But I don't have no control over nobody's mind. I can't make you see that you can do it. You don't need what I got to do it. You need to work what you got. And if you do that, I'm going to tell you something. And I understand. When I was counting my mama money, I was saying in my mind what I would do if I had it. When I see my grandma money, that ain't the problem. When you try to live like that's your money.
That's the problem.
That's the problem. But saying that would be nice to have, ain't nothing wrong with that. Oh, I love that hairstyle. It would be nice.
But they chose.
Nachos. That's what growth is.
That's right.
That's where your character builds. I remember Cat Williams said this. I mean, he's a Virgo. I mean, I loved it, but he said he had Sister Monique, Mother Susan. He said he had been over Martin Lawrence's house, and he said Martin Lawrence has a theater in his house. And he said Martin Lawrence, because you know Cat Williams real short.
Yeah.
And he said he got a basketball court, but it's cushioned. And he said he could jump up there. He said by the time he got through enjoying the house of Martin Lawrence, he said when he got back home, he said how he supposed to watch a movie on a TV. He said I was so disrespectful to my place because you don't went over there enjoying somebody else's festivity.
Come on.
Now it been good the whole time, but now you done stepped off in somebody else's abundance.
Now yours ain't good enough.
It's funny, but it's the truth. You always want somebody else because it comes without the word. I told you, my sister said, she was in there in my kitchen. I'm like, oh, this ice cream is so good. So I'm trying to figure out how it's so good. Right. She said, because you pay.
That's true.
When somebody else is paying, it's always better.
It is different. It is.
When somebody putting gas money in there, it's always better. You be like, that's delicious. Cause you ain't had to do the work. Ain't nothing wrong with that. What's wrong with it when you don't want to do your personal work? Oh. I have other things on my face.
Oh Lord, about.
Thank you, Lord. Thank you, dear Lord. I eat that, literally. This is what I tell people, and then I tell you, all of my checks that come from social media ain't big, yeah, but they all add up. I'm gonna say that again. All of my checks that come from my social media platform are not big checks, but they all add up. Whether you give them little or much, it all adds up. That's what my grandma was trying to tell me that day. You pick up that penny, you'll have good luck. Because she's a Sagittarius, so she believed in that kind of stuff. And it was going to work for me because I'm a Sagittarius. And she kept telling me, food, penny, make dollars. And if you can't see the dollar and the penny, and you don't see how it connects to your next outcome, you're going to be struggling all your life.
Wow. Don't just bypass that.
Y'all keep bypassing small things. Everything got to grow more. I don't care how big it get. It start off small. You keep playing with it, it'll grow. You keep cultivating it, it'll grow. We are creatures that make things grow. But a lot of us can't enjoy our garden Not only you ain't gonna spend that kind of money in that garden, you ain't gonna put that kind of time in that garden. You ain't gonna put that kind of time in that garden. That's why their business, house, or whatever they got going on look the way it look. All you had to do is start out with one seed. I'm gonna tell you how foolish we are. A one seed, apostle.
Just
hmm
one.
Because the Bible promised that every seed shall bring after forth after his own kind. So you get that one penny, another one bound to come. You get that one dime, another one bound to come. You get that one nickel, it's bound to come. You get that $1. That's why most people that do their conjure, that's why their first dollar they make in their business, they hang it up or they put it, do some a little something to that dollar. Cause that $1 or that one sale gonna bring more sales. All you got to do is get one sale. All you need is one opportunity. Because every seed birth after its own kinds. That's why we say in the church, you give sparingly, you reap sparingly. If how you want a watermelon, but you sowing the seeds of a guava. You putting a peach seed in the ground and you looking for a watermelon. That's not. Stop. Stop allowing yourself to deceive that magic is glamour. What I mean by that, if you was really serious about anything growing in your life, you know what you're sowing and you know why you're reaping. If you don't want that to come in your next harvest, plow that field, uproot those seeds, because you will have to put the work in.
Yeah.
And that's what average person wants. I done sold all of this in my life, and I don't want to sit here and go back over and refertilize this soil. So I'm gonna come in your garden and take what I need. I don't mess up. I got the same earth that God gave you. I just took a small step behind my sister. Happy birthday, Jack. And I took that small step with okra. I had been around okra through my grandma and all that. I was ill. Then I got in conjure okra. We use okra for protection, but I'm ill. And then I had to offer okra to Ogun, also the Shango. But my point was, it's ill. And I had to get to 52 years old. I had to get to 52 years old, and I was at Golden Corral, not a 5-star restaurant, and I decided to get a little corner of okra, fried okra. And y'all know what? Hot diggity damn.
Yes, he liked it.
I actually liked it.
Perception had you messed up.
My sister had to get me to try beef. I always used to watch my cousin eat raw beef, and I thought she was disgusting. And she do salt and pepper and vinegar. Let me tell y'all something. As a man, beef will make you strong. A lot of the things, the little vegetables that you keep overlooking, might be your salvation. I take that back. It is your salvation. I took me 52 years of age. So I don't want nobody thinking like it's just me. We don't all miss out on opportunities. I'm just saying, stop. If you stop looking at things the way that you're looking at them and stop despising that you got to go through those channels, you will have a better attitude. Like David. Imagine you being anointed king of all of Israel, in front of all your brothers and your daddy, that none of them thought you were worthy. Hell, you ain't even know. You see what I'm saying? And then after that ceremony over, you have absolutely no problem returning back to the sheep. The average melanated person could not do that.
Oh, you know who I am?
Did you? Did you? You was there.
You know who I am?
I know it's way back then, but we a poetry out of stone.
Okay.
The average melanated person could not get elevated
Never.
like that
Never.
and return
No.
back to
No,
tending
sir.
his father's sheep.
No, sir. Never.
When I say we got work to do, we really got work to do.
They're like working with P. Diddy and then working at Target.
It's a contrast.
It's hard.
All you gotta do is protect your anus, protect the little part. Let me say y'all this. I'm in Titusville, Florida.
Yes.
And one of the reasons I came down here and decided to do this, decided to get my coins, is I'm tired of people making like it's their environment. Why God can't move for them. This same God that is an apostolic faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. If it was that way, I wouldn't be able to travel because I had to pick up the church and bring the church.
That's right. Wherever you go.
Are y'all hearing me?
Yeah.
When you don't know you are part of something and that you're relevant and that my cauldrons could be at my house and I'm still connected to them. It's too many people that believe they're disconnected. They're not relevant. And that's not because somebody is just telling them that. That's what you perceive about yourself. And if you had the confidence, you could stay in your lane. The only reason why you keep getting out your lane because you ain't got the confidence that God gonna get you to your destination. You can't play these mind games with me. I know what it takes. I do get it. 52 years of age. And there's another thing. It's something with that 52. Play that number. 2552 and box it. Cause I done had the most trying is trials, but I have gotten the greatest of victory. My testimony has surmounted anything that I've gone through, and how God has manifested. Yeah, I said it. My 52, I'm God's anointed. The stuff that I get manifesting is because I want my saints to know whether you in Titusville, I got Stormy that's in Detroit, I got my baby Keish.
Reach.
And they feel the same power over a live or our classes. Y'all, I know my TikTok ain't ride with me like my YouTube. And it's okay. As long as I score.
That's right.
It don't matter if it's in the club or outside the club. As long as I score. I don't get upset because a couple who either way. Because as long as the night is not over. Some of y'all giving up way too early. And you in the right atmosphere, you in the right season.
In the right place at the right time.
That's why your candles keep come back clear. And you trying to figure out why you ain't manifesting. It's how you perceive stuff. Play your role and your time will come. It will happen. Am I wrong when I say this? Some seeds grow faster into the fruit than others.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that fair
Very
statement?
accurate. Yeah.
So there are certain seeds that you sow that are gonna come faster than the other ones you sow.
So take longer, yeah.
Because depending on the type of plant or the type of tree you plant. Now, my sister, even though she had the plants for me, my 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 saber trees and it blooming, but the way my sister got that saber tree growing, Monique, that tree way up here, way up here, cause she got them growing hands. My point is, we don't have the same gift, but we are blessed by each other's gift. Don't be hating on, cause everybody got something to bring to the table.
Everybody's got their own. Yeah, that's right.
The skunk got something
That's right.
perfectly pure.
That's right.
You would have never thought bad gas will get you out of the dilemma. Everybody know you been fighting a skunk. And you can't just go in the water and wipe that.
No.
God gave him that. And he turned that ass to you.
Yes, sir.
And he lift that tail.
Yes, sir. Tomato juice now.
Huh? He ain't a lion.
Yeah.
He ain't a bear.
That's terrible.
But he puts his mark just like everybody else do.
That's his gift.
Have you ever had an ant? Because y'all look over that. The insect kingdom. It's a mighty kingdom. There's a lot of conjure in that. Have you ever had an ant to get between your toe and bite?
Oh, I swell up like a quarter. Swell up like a quarter.
I ain't say an alligator or a crocodile.
So the ant.
I said an ant. Everything has the ability to leave its mark. I want to know why you ain't leaving your mark. Everything has the ability to make an impact. I didn't even know that hippopotamus, if I ever get a part of that
They
hippopotamus,
the worst. They the best.
they are so aggressive
They the worst.
and
Worst
terror.
species.
That hippopotamus, if I ever get a part of that
They
hippopotamus,
the worst. They the best.
they are so aggressive
They the worst.
and
Worst
terror.
species.
You think
They
because
worse.
that
They
hippopotamus, and I know that how them people in a swamp boat,
very aggressive. They the worst.
and if you
They're
sit
deadly.
there, that hippopotamus will throw
They
that
are
boat
deadly,
over.
Yeah. They are very. They one of
Now I
the
know
worst
why they
creatures.
be speeding through the swamp.
Yeah. They're one of the worst.
Cause that hippopotamus get behind you, they go all the way down to the ground and up and come up.
They're one of the
And,
worst aggressive species in the water. The most aggressive. out of
and
all.
you would think because of the weight. That's what I'm saying. If you look at nature, you'll see magic. You underestimating so many things out here that God got for you.
More aggressive than
Because you
that.
trying to look at how somebody else planning your prosperity and your success. I know this makes sense. But I
Absolutely.
want to say this again. Don't despise small beginnings. When I started on TikTok, I ain't have a follower. Now I almost got 16,000. You got to start from somewhere. You got to start from somewhere. And I watch one of my followers, a friend I got on my, and I laughed so hard because it's true. And the video was, I know you. Basically, she was saying that she's so happy because she got 4 followers, and they be watching. And the way she talking, you would think she got a lot of followers.
She had satisfied.
But but that's how you have to do.
You can't be blessed with more until you.
When you start a business and you get that first sale to sell that first plate, you got to be happy just like you did when you did your 40th plate that you sold.
That's right.
Because that means your business is still what? Successful. And that's all I'm saying.
That's funny you said that because I was listening to something this morning and the guy said, he said, my grandmama, I was told once, he said that you can't be blessed with more until you're happy with what you got. When you're grateful for what you got, that's
And
what
it
God
seems
bless
so
you with.
simple,
Yeah.
but the energy behind it It's like you're trying to make that egg hatch before time. You want that egg to hatch without the chicken sitting on the egg and heating it up. You ain't willing to get on that idea, sit on that vision until it has enough heat to break that egg. Give that egg idea time to mature. And when it breaks, it's going to have its own legs to walk. It's going to have its own eyes to see. That was about, they say the word say, legs to walk. It's going to have its own eyes to see. That was about, they say the word say, the vision shall not lie. It may tarry, but it shall not lie. And it's going to come to pass. It's personal development. Thank you so much. Is that Empress? Yes. What's up, baby? Tonight on my sister's birthday.
Yes.
Do not lose that. I'm gonna do a live. It's gonna be something rather else on my YouTube channel. I'm hopefully out by now. Don't and have not subscribed to my YouTube channel. Do yourself a favor. If you have not gotten in any of my classes, I got a psychic class coming up very soon. And those that know me, I get down in my teaching. I do manifestation. We do real magic, real spell work. And what else? I prepare egg sticks. If you doing work as a worker, or you need to step your spiritual game up, go to my website and purchase you an egg stick. If you decide to get, because I only have one that's already ready, every egg stick that I prepare needs 21 days. So I've already prepared something. I don't care if you're in Christian church. I don't care if you're in E5 Voodoo. Ask Demetrius. This is what he told me. This is what Demetrius told me. He said, it's a ridiculous shame. He said, this egg stick got more power than all my initiations and my ceremony. That's what he said.
He wasn't lying.
He said, Apostle, this one staff trumps all of my initiations. I told you I'm the real McCoy. And he's a worker and he got clientele. So if you got want one, I do have 2 more that is being prepared. So it's almost ready. But if I prepared that egg stick for you and your ancestors, you have to be a member. You have to have membership with my Haitian Voodoo, or my membership with Orisha, or my membership with my Palo Miambi. You have to have that because I'm not giving that kind of ache to random people. And you can go to the website and get that membership. Melanated people, I'm making this plain. One thing I'm doing is lowering the branch. I'm not going to pluck the fruit off the tree for you and put it in your hand. I'm not going to do that. But one thing I will do is I will make it affordable so you can have the arche to manifest some real changes in your life. And if you think that this is not necessary, that means you don't understand my message today. Despise not small beginnings. I didn't just get here. I come through a lot of channels. Thank you so much, Empress. I much love to you. This is going right on my YouTube page. I love y'all. I talk to y'all. See you on my YouTube page at 9 p.m. All right. God bless.